face.
Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. Today we're going to see how to make an hard industrial techno track like HADES. We're going to go through all of the elements of the track and you can follow along with the project file that you can download on Bandcamp. You will get also all the different serum patches that I use in this video. If you like this kind of content, you can join me on my channel by subscribing, or you can like and comment the video. Also, I just recently opened an Instagram account, so you can join me. The link is in the description below, and we can exchange feedback, questions, or anything that's related to music. And I will also provide some preview and other exclusive stuff. All right, here we go. All right, so for this tutorial, there's kind of two parts. First is this introduction with this kind of cinematic stuff. And then there's the drop and the main part with the kick. So I think, yeah, HADES uses lots of distortion, noise, and this kind of cinematic stuff in his tracks. So we're gonna see how to do this. All right, so the main idea for my introduction was first the voice. So to do this kind of voice, I used AI plugin that's called VoiceMod. So I'm going to show you. This is what I used. And you can do like voice to speech and choose different characters so that it's change directly your voice. So you can show like this. You should try it. So I kind of have fun with this plugin. So I asked ChatGPT some words or sentence to say.
Lost in the void.
Like this. And then I did a voice to speech thing with VoiceMod. And I recorded it. And I got this voice. So I'm trying to make this kind of cinematic stuff with a kind of story with this sentence. So yeah, this plugin was very fun, but there was lots of sibilance. Like I had to put some de-esser with this compression, also with lots of EQs, and try to melt the reverb into the track. So that's what I did with lots of processing. Also added a bit of distortion to make something, the thing even more nasty, so that it fits to the track. And yeah, so it kind of paces my introduction here, with here the few words, then a few words, and then the final words before the drop.
This is the end.
So then in my introduction, so I first start just to put the start of the track. I have my impact. And then there are 3 layers coming to kind of build the tension. And I make the tension with this first part, and then I make a fake drop. Like usually you would be making the drop just after this. For instance, I could have put this voice here and then the drop, boom. But I kind of make it fake and put another layers to put and build some tension again. So what I use first is a Reese bass. That I open progressively. So you can see how to make this kind of Reese bass in my tutorial that I made a few days ago. This is basically 2 saw waves that are detuned and a big sub that is solo in mono, so that I have something very steady in the bass, and just a bit of multiband compression so that I get something very nasty. So I can show you here. Really like distort the thing, also with the tube compression and the pedal here. So yeah, wanted something nasty, and this is kind of the baseline for the layers here. Then I found this pulsating bass. So here I withdraw the bass because I want my sub here clean with a Riz bass, but I kind of give this rhythm upon the Riz bass. And this is just a saw pluck. So if I go higher, you see it's just a plug. So it's just an envelope with the noise, with the volume and the cutoff for the filter that plays like this small note with a saw wave, something basic. Then there's just a few effects, so reverb, bit of EQ, chorus. And when you go down, you get this pulsating thing, and you can modulate depending on how quick you want it to be. So here I wanted something that was quick, quite slow, so that accompany the Riz bass, and also last layer is some kind of noise with a bit of autopan to make it move, and that release at the end with the reverb, the return channel that I use. And so yeah, this is just noise and few oscillators that are doing nasty things. So I think I started with a preset and then I changed the LFO rate to get something nasty. There's some hyper dimension to get some room. Again, multiband compression to get something nasty, reverb, EQ, and compression, this kind of stuff. So you can check. This is a preset that I found that was fitting the track, and I went down. You see, at first it was a synth, and I went really down to get those nasty frequencies. And usually, when you want some dark sound, you can take any sound and you go very low in pitch, and you get some interesting harmonics and tones. So that, yeah, that's what I used. So I have these 3 layers that are coming. Then I kind of put the snare roll to make the fake kind of drop. And then I have my transition. So here it's an effect that I found. So I've put some processing again so that the thing is more nasty. So the vocoder for the noise, compression to make something more of a block, distortion with the amp, and some autopan and reverb to make the room. And this voice effect is from a sample pack from glitchmachines. So glitchmachines provides some plugins to do this kind of glitch stuff, and they also offer a few samples. So this is a free sample pack you can get on their website, I guess. And yeah, it really fits the track because it's some kind of voice that are underneath some space, and this gives like this robotic and futuristic kind of vibe. So yeah, I found this effect and think, yeah, it quite fits with the style. So I have my tension, it's released by this kind of weird effect. I had another effect that I found was kind of giving the same vibe. So again, using the same space, some echo, some reverb, some autopan. And then boom, another section that is starting with this impact. So this is an effect that I found on Splice. And I thought, yeah, it's very weird and it's fitting with this effect also. And then two other layers, kind of the same thing, but with another rhythm. So this time I have this kind of noise. So I guess this is my Reese bass, but this time I only take the higher part and also I put the amp on heavy mode to get different tone, and also on rock mode. And I make the thing coming slow until the climax. And this is accompanied with this pulsating beat that is the same as this one. But this time I keep the bass. And I play with the LFO rate so that it goes quicker at the end and kind of reach the climax. And so yeah, here I reached the maximum, the LFO rate, and I found this other glitch, and this was really fitting together. So yeah. And then final vocal, and boom, the drop.
This is the end.
So yeah, using the same preset here so that I get the same vibe and that it's very coherent. So yeah, each time I have transition, I have this kind of effect, impact, or voice. So the narrative is done by the voice, the tension is built by these layers, and the transitions are made by the different effects and impacts. That's how you do this kind of cinematic stuff. And yeah, to get something very nasty, just go with some lower pitches with the samples, pitch everything down. You will get interesting tones. And yeah, use lots of distortion, saturation for your sounds. Also, yeah, just one last thing for the introduction. I also added the screeches. So this is kind of anticipating what will come after in the track and setting the tone for the track. And so, yeah, same thing. So I use the screeches that I will use later in the track, and I will make it, I'll make it come slowly with the cutoff here of the filter and kind of reaching the climax here. And there's actually also the perc that I will show you later that comes and kind of anticipate what's going on in the track after, like the screech. And that's it for the introduction. So then we have our main kick. So I'll go through this kick. There's lots of layers, and that's usually the case for this kind of stuff. I think that's not the easiest and quickest way to get to this result, but sometimes, you know, I tweak, I play with the different sounds, and I can just go back in certain layers, then go back to the bus effect, kind of tweaking everything. So it's hard to explain exactly in which order I make the thing. But what you must remember and learn from this is really how you need to process the different layers and kind of balance everything so that you get the compression, the saturation right, and so that you can make your kick. And usually, so in this kind of kick, there's a layer underneath that is like a normal kick. So with the punch kick and the rumble. So yeah, this is what is underneath this whole kick. Because this layer is providing the punch and the rumble. So it's like all of the frequencies, and on this there is the transient, this kind of a hardcore transient with some low transients. There's a low transient and a high transient, and I will show you how to do this. And it's the same thing after for the second drop, just another layer on it with this transient. So yeah, let's go through first the punch kick. So I think I used one sample here. So this is just a clubby Vengeance sample. So without any distortion, it was something that was pretty clean at first. You see. So I just, I want something more sharp, so that's why I reduce here with the sample the tail. Then I use the same sample. Well, I kind of duplicated it because here I wanted more transient, the higher part, like this. So I use the EQ3 to echo. I use the EQ3 to isolate the higher part, and I use the overdrive to distort and get more transient, more highs in the transient. Then this is my main kick. So kind of just distorting it and withdrawing. Here it was a bit too much, especially after the processing that went through the group. So now I have a transient and I have the main kick. Already something punchy. And I kind of added a bit more here. You see, it really adds this saturated bass to the body of the kick. So yeah, this is really the body of the kick, and I kind of use the same sample. I isolate it and I want to boost the thing up, so it's kind of a parallel processing. So it's the same as I was doing here, a group, and just duplicating it and just isolating the bass or the body here. And this way I have something that's balanced, punchy, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, on the group I have also some processing. So again, some saturation. So yeah, one thing is here the EQ3, I found out that it was flipping the phase, because you see it really changes the result without even without the gain here on the highs. So sometimes I don't know, it works. Really use your ears to kind of hear if it's okay, and then lots of EQs to get it right. So you see, withdrawing some resonances until I get something clean as I want. And yeah, this is my main kick. I added just a top kick here. That's subtle. But here it's just for the transient and the punch. And also, yeah, sometimes you can see that it works to have the transient a little bit in front or after. And sometimes it will sound better if you put, for instance, your transient here or here, or just like this, and not exactly at the beginning of the bar. So here I just have a little delay and it works. So yeah, this is the main kick, the top kick. Then I'll go through the rumble, because this is the most common part. So for the rumble, I have two layers. One layer with the sub. So I show you in other videos how to make this kind of rumble. So you just take your main kick, you put it through a convolution reverb, and you put some distortion and saturation, and then you can render it to audio, and you will get this kind of rumble. And there is a sample pack from Teknovault that is free again. You can get, and there are few rumbles that you can get, and sometimes it's better, to pick different rumbles and try if it fits with your kick, rather than trying to make your own rumble and it's not fitting, or you have to change and tweak the different processing until you get something you like. Sometimes it's quicker just to try different samples and see if it fits. You can also change the pitch and try if it works. So here I use two of these kind of rumbles samples. I just distort it. Of course, I put the sidechain. And I added another layer of rumble, but higher this time. So you see, it just adds this lower mid frequency. And I have the same processing, just I cut the sub because I want one clean sub. So there's one clean sub from the kick punch, and there's one clean sub for the rumble at the second part of the kick. And these are my only sub in the whole layers of the kick. And it was fitting together. So again, just try different samples. You see I've tweaked and pitched down this one so that I get something that I liked more. And that's it for the rumble. Then I have a layer of grit. Again, I think I use a difference. I have a layer with a rock mode amp, and this time here with a boost mode. So you see I have something that fills up the mid range and kind of adds to the rumble. And here it's a nasty sample. Again, you can. It also works. You can play with these layers, pitch it up, pitch it down, and that's actually how you should use the different samples that you buy when you buy a sample pack. It's really to be used as a tool rather than using it simply directly as a sample that you play in your track like this without any processing. So I like to use these kind of samples with some different tweaks and processing so that I get some nasty layers. And especially for hard industrial techno, this is usually done. So it's really how you should use these kind of samples. So again, I could have done it myself. So how would I do it? So for instance, I could take my kick, do this kind of 16th notes pattern. I can put here an amp. I could put a trash, and there you go. You can get something like this. Up. Then, and I will just pitch it down. And I put some delay. I put another amp. Oh. And you see, I can create also this kind of layers. It's just that sometimes it's quicker to try different samples from a sample pack, and it's also more fun, and sometimes you can get some inspiration from these sample packs to try and create those kind of layers. So yeah, this is another layer that I kept. Yeah, it kind of fills up also the mid-range, so that's why I kept it. Actually, it could be in the rumble part. Just that here I EQ again, so that it doesn't interfere with the sub. And I withdraw here something resonating that's always come when you put this kind of distortion. So yeah, this is my grid, this is my rumble, this is my kick, and this all comes to get this main kick that I just glue together with the drum bus and the limiter to boost it. And this is the main kick. Just have an impact to give a bit more space. Again, just an EQ, and I pitch it down to get something that I like more. And on top of that, to get the final kick, you need these transients. This is some hardstyle, hardcore stuff. And I will show you how to do this. Okay, so how do I make these hardstyle, hardcore transients? For that, I'm using Theorem. And I kind of started with a kind of kick. So here I have two oscillators. So what I'm gonna do is this sound. I'm using two oscillators. One is a sine wave, and another one is a distorted sound source that it's one octave above. I have some distortion, so 0 square, to have something very nasty. With lots of drive, like the maximum. And to do this kind of kick, I'm using an LFO that is linked to the chords of each oscillator. And you see when I'm playing it, it's doing like a pitch down effect, like any kick. And you can play here with the rate to have something that goes quicker or slower. And so also I have a comb filter that's adding like these nasty frequencies in the high end. And so I recorded just the transient part of this. That's what I got. So I think I went even like even lower in pitch, so you get this nasty like this. And once you have this, so basically this is something that is very distorted, as you can see on the sound wave. So you're gonna distort it again. So first I just want a bit more transient here. I use the drum bus. I put more distortion with the amp, and then it's about getting it right, because I want a kind of snare. I don't want low frequencies because I already have my kick, my main kick here. So yeah, it's just really about tweaking. So you see sometimes I duplicated it so that it resonates correctly here. And kind of managing the different frequencies until I get something balanced. So you see lots of EQs. But that's how I got this result. And then, so this is my snare, and I think I have layered it with my kick. Like this. And so without pitching it down, this is what I got. So you see, I have the kick, and on top of that, this snare. And then I pitched it down, like 7 semitones, and then just keeping the high end. So you see, each time you go lower in pitch, you get those nasty frequencies, those dark and heavy frequencies, and you just gotta isolate the high end so that you get this high end, this snare. And then I kind of distorted it again with trash and with the amp drainer that's pushed to quite a lot, but like half wet. And yeah, that's how I got it. But you see, I also have some other processing until I get it right. So again, more saturation, Valhalla, vintage, so just some reverb. And just managing, actually could put up. Oh yeah, I think I have it here. And so this is the high part, and I think this one, I just go lower in pitch. Yeah, it's on -12 to get two different tones, and I just layer them to have a very full transient. And that's how you get your kick. And final part is here at the drop. I think I'm just adding another top. And this time I used, I think, like a random industrial kick that I found in my sample pack. And again, I just distort it. So you see, it's pretty soft. Then you put the pedal. So it's another way to do this kind of snares. So either you use serum, you record, you put lots of distortion, saturation, and you get this. Or you can just pick like a random kick with a good transient, and you put lots of distortion like the pedal here with the fuzz. So yeah, I think fuzz is better, you get more transient. And I pitched it up. See, it was a kick. I pitched it up. And you get this transient. Kind of adds even more intensity. So yeah, there's just another layer at some point in the track on top of the kick. So it's a kind of a hard kick. And again, I won't use it like this, but I use it as a tool to put another layer on top of the kick. So it's the same way as the other transient here, but this time it's more hardcore kick. And yeah, just even more saturation to put the high end a bit in front. And yeah. And that's it for the kick. So then I have a few drums. So here nothing special, it's just to get something that is in the mood of the track, you really have to distort everything. So here just a simple ride, just to put more room, so nothing special. Just gotta sidechain it right, because you want really the kick to cut through. Then you got some hi-hats, so got two patterns. Here it's a simple pattern, and here I play with the decay. So at first it was just a close hat, like something very classic, but then I want something more noisy and distorted. So I gotta put lots of distortion. I have two overdrives, one amp, and also I shortened the transient with the drum bus here, with the transient. I'm gonna put also room, so I use supermassive and a reverb, short reverb. And then since I added 100% the amp, it was a bit too harsh, and the 10k plus hertz, and it's very noisy and harsh for the ears, so I gotta withdraw these frequencies. And then my sidechain. And that's it for this hat. Also I have an open hat. So here it's just a simple pattern, open hat pattern, nothing special. Just I add again lots of overdrive and saturation to get something noisy. And then again, I gotta manage the frequencies so that it's not too harsh for the ears, especially around 9-10K, and sometimes at 400K there's a resonancy usually, and then sidechain. And underneath this open hat, just have another more simple open hat. Here it's just to put a kind of perc, metallic perc, with more transient so that it gives more groove. You see, it gives this driving rhythm underneath. And here again, lots of saturation, manage the compression with the drum bus and my sidechain. And on top of that, I have the random perc. So I use it in the introduction. Again, same as the screech, kind of anticipating what's going to come after in the track, and it also brings some kind of intensity in the introduction. And what I use here is a Max for Live device. So I don't know if you know about it, but it's called Snake. And it's a pretty cool tool when you can randomize some notes and you get some random patterns. So I can show you. So it plays random notes that's going to play here in the sampler, and you can choose the range. So if you want it more, for instance, in the lower range or the higher range, you can also play with the gates if you want. Sometimes it's not playing. You can play with the velocities. Or you can customize any parameter, actually. So yeah, just use the perc at first. I wanted something, again, noisy and nasty, so same thing. Lots of distortion and saturation and compression. And then reverb, and then managing with the EQ to get it right. And so yeah, it's a cool tool to kind of randomize a bit your percs or drums and to get some interesting grooves. You can also use it with some synths or whatever, and you can get some crazy stuff sometimes. Here, just since it's always playing, you gotta use a utility to put the gain on and off so that it plays at the right time in the track. Because if I put it like normal, like this, you see it will play everywhere. So I have to manage the sound volume with this. And so finally, we have the screeches. So I have 3 types of screech here. So this one, very full. This one, more noisy. So here you can feel it's more saw waves. Here it's more noise. And here it's kind of the same that this one, but maybe higher pitch. So I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm using Serum. So I'm using 2 saw waves, and the main sound is coming from this one. So it's very detuned, like maximum saw waves. I think it's not playing. Oh yeah, it's just that I have FM synthesis with this one. It's actually doing nothing, but sometimes you can play with FM synthesis. Yeah, it's more in the transient. If you want more transient, you can use this one. So here it's doing nothing, but I think on this one, I'm playing with the noise, so I have frequency modulation with the noise. Yeah, that's it. So you see it's the same patch. So it's 16 oscillators that are detuned, and it's modulated by the noise. And yeah, in terms of effects. So I have some distortion, few distortion, a bit of delay on the high end, some reverb of course, but I gotta low cut it here, and some compression. So either you can use compression here to get more attack, or you can play with the multiband compression to get something more noisy. Depends on what you want. And I just got an EQ, yeah, to look at actually. And then just a bit more distortion, again some more reverb because I prefer this one. And yeah, just yeah, I'm careful with the high end because it can be a bit too much. And yeah, this one's the same patch, just that I have some modulation only from the oscillator B. So also I have the envelope on my first oscillator. So you see it's going down in frequencies like this when it plays. Again, you can play with the different parameters. And here the envelope is playing with the FM. And yeah, that's it for the screeches. It's just here I use an ARP to play sharp notes. To play it. You can play with it. Get a kind of gun. So yeah, I think I will do a video on Screech if you're interested, but that's how you made them. And that's pretty much it. I just got a sweep here to anticipate and tells that this drop is coming. And I think maybe I play on the drums with the return channel to put a bit more reverb here for the transition. And yes, for the pattern of the Screech, nothing special here, just play different patterns, sometimes a few sharp notes with longer notes, sometimes higher pitch, like this. And sometimes a lower pitch, like this one. Kind of playing call and answer thing between these screeches, but here the main thing is really like the hard kick, so I won't like overcrowd the rest of the spectrum because this already takes a huge space, and this is what you want to put forward. It's really like the kick. And that's it, guys, for this track. I hope you liked it. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I see you next week. Ciao, guys.